Hey everyone, welcome. In a world that's just buzzing with digital pings and virtual meetings, we're going to talk about something that feels, well, almost revolutionary these days: the power of a real face to face connection.
So check this out. This quote is from a journalist who spent a week with an AI friend, and wow, does that hit home, right? Trapped talking to the most boring person at a party. It just perfectly nails that hollow feeling we sometimes get from our tech. That's really the jumping off point for everything we're diving into today. And that leads us straight into this huge idea, this connection paradox. The crazy thing is, we have all these tools to bring us closer, but sometimes they just end up building walls instead. I mean, just think about it for a second. You're waiting in line for coffee, you're on the bus. Remember when that little bit of awkward silence might have led to a quick chat? Now, what do we all do? We pull out our phones. It's become this universal do not disturb sign. We're accidentally walling ourselves off from the people literally standing right next to us.
Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the fix? Well, it all starts with understanding what's actually happening inside our brains. Because the science is clear: our minds and our bodies are just wired differently for in-person interaction.
So let's ask the big question. Just how important is this face-to-face stuff for our mental health? Is it just, a nice little bonus, or is it something we absolutely need? The data on this is, well, it's pretty eye-opening. Get a load of this. A major study from Oregon Health and Science University found that for older adults, having very little in-person contact nearly doubled their risk of depression 2 years down the line. Doubled! And here's the kicker. Phone calls, emails, texts, they didn't really move the needle. It had to be face-to-face. That's a huge deal. So why is that? A big part of the answer is this cool psychological idea called the mere exposure effect. It sounds complicated, but it's super simple. Basically, we just naturally start to like things and people the more we're familiar with them. It's this quiet, powerful force that builds connection without us even trying. And here's a perfect example of that in action. There was this classic study, right? Students who just showed up to class more often. They didn't even have to say anything, were rated as more likable by their classmates at the end of the semester. Just being present was enough. Isn't that wild? But it's not just about being in the room. It's about how you show up. And get this, over 80% of our communication in social settings is nonverbal. That means your body is doing most of the talking before you even say a word. So let's break that down. Look at something like eye contact. Just holding it for 3 to 5 seconds, that signals confidence. Keeping your arms and legs uncrossed, that says I'm open, I'm engaged. A real smile, that's pure approachability. These aren't tiny little details. This is the fundamental language we all speak. Okay, so we've got the why. Now let's get into the how. How do we take all this science and actually use it? Let's build a toolkit for something a lot of us, let's be honest, kind of dread: the art of the mingle. And your body is always your first move. The difference here is just night and day, right? On one side, you have the closed stance, crossed arms, turned away. It's basically a human shield. But then look at the other side. Uncrossed, relaxed, facing people. That's a welcome mat. It silently tells everyone, hey, I'm open for a chat. And if you're not sure how to break into a group, here's a super simple 4-step playbook. First, scan the room for groups standing in a kind of semicircle. That's an open invitation. As you walk over, use that open body language we just talked about. Then, and this is key, just listen for a minute. Get the vibe of the conversation. Then, when there's a natural pause, you can jump in. Simple. All right, so getting into a conversation is half the battle. But knowing how to get out, that is a social superpower. I love this quote: social Teflon. It's all about having a smooth exit line that doesn't leave things feeling awkward. So here's exactly how to do it. The goal is always to end on a positive note. Why? Because of something called the recency effect. Our brains tend to remember the last part of an interaction the most. So a simple phrase like, hey, it was great talking, but I just saw someone I need to say hi to, is perfect. You combine that with a little turn of your body, and boom, you've made a graceful, clean exit. So let's bring this all home. What's the big picture here? It's really about starting to treat our social health with the same respect we give our physical health. Because connection isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely vital. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Social connections should be treated as a vital sign. Just imagine your doctor asking about how many times you saw friends this week, right next to checking your blood pressure. It's a powerful way to think about it, not as a luxury, but as a crucial part of being healthy. So, with that in mind, here's a little challenge for you. Just try one of these this week. Instead of ordering online, go to the grocery store. Instead of streaming, go to a movie theater. Each one is just a small choice to opt into the real world. And that last one, maybe the most important. When you're with people you care about, just put the phone away. Give them your full attention.
And that's really what it all comes down to. In a world that's constantly screaming for our attention through a screen, maybe the most revolutionary thing we can do is just look up. So I'll leave you with this. How are you going to create your next real human connection?